and welcome to our Year 7 2022 Information Evening. My name's Mandy Eggins and I'm the Registrar here at St Philip's, and I will be your host for this evening. Let me introduce you to the rest of our team. So this is Mr Glenn Urain, our Head of Middle School, and Mark Costa, our Year Co for Year 7.
G'day guys, how you going?
Tonight we'll be hearing from Mr Urain as well as giving you an insight into a day in the life of Year 7. We'll also be hearing from Mr Costa, who will give us a bit more info about what a typical day and year looks like in our Year 7 as well. We'll also give you the opportunity to ask some questions. We've got some people here with us tonight, but for those who are online, there is a Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. You can type questions in there during the evening, and at the end of the evening, we will attempt to answer all of those. But first, I hope you enjoy our video of a day in the life of Year 7.
Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Clea, and we're current Year 7 students at St Philip's Christian College, Port Stephens.
And we'd like to show you what we get up to each day. Year 7 is fun and busy. Every day is different.
Our mornings always start with nurture. This might include time with our core teacher, chapel, assembly, or a year meeting. We love Fridays. Fridays are fun days.
Our nurture time is spent with our core class, and this is the class we do most of our subjects with. Our nurture teacher is the one who gets to know us well and checks up on us. That teacher is a lot like your classroom teacher in Year 6.
We have 6 periods in a day. Sometimes we move to a different class each period, and sometimes we get to enjoy a double period.
In Year 7, our classes include Maths, Science, English, Geography, History, Music, Art, PDHP and Technology.
Technology classes include food technology, sewing, woodwork and robotics.
We also get to choose interest electives. I've chosen Sports Academy.
And I've chosen Story Hub.
But there's lots of other options like mountain biking, pop art and movie making.
In Year 7, sport is on Thursday. We also get to choose some fun sports like tennis, Oztag and archery.
In our break times, we like to hang out in the retreat, play handball, play touch, or play basketball, or enjoy the sunshine. There are a lot of other things you can do like go to crew group, the library, or choir practice.
After school, the library is open for Homework Hub, so that's when you get your homework done before you go home.
In Year 7, you get to go on camp at the beginning of the year. This is a great time to get to know your classmates and teachers. It's a really fun adventure. This year we went camping at the Basin in Sydney.
We're really enjoying all the different subjects and opportunities that we had in Year 7. It's helped us to get an idea of what we really enjoy doing and where our talents lie. Join us for Year 7 at St Philip's Christian College. We think you'll love it here.
Oh, thanks to Clea and thank you to Jesse. It's so good to hear them speaking so positively about the Year 7 experience because we value it so highly. I'm so glad that you could join us this evening, and if you're watching this in retrospect, then hopefully you pick up a lot of information about Year 7, and I'm hoping that both you and your children are going to be really excited about the prospect of being able to start here. Our middle school is a really special place, and it goes from Year 5 to Year 8. We're a real community, and it keeps a small feeling similar to a primary school while also having all of the advantages of the secondary school life. Community is really big for us, relationship is really big for us, but keeping kids engaged in school also holds a really high place in our estimation. I'd like to give some handy points and thoughts about Year 7 and all that's to come. And I'm going to start by talking to you about getting excited. It's so good just to meet so many new kids in Year 7. We always get an influx of new Year 7s coming in, and it's such a great opportunity for them to get to know new children, new staff members, and getting to move from classroom to classroom is really exciting for them. We also have an opportunity for them to use a whole heap of new equipment that they might not have ever been able to use in the primary school setting. Things like the gym, the science labs, the keyboard labs, music rehearsal rooms, woodwork rooms, cooking, sewing, and all of those opportunities that come with the secondary years. And they're some of the places that our students just most love going to and most enjoy about being in Year 7. Get yourself prepared. It's really important to start learning a lot about being an independent learner as you move away from the primary school classroom. Of course, in the primary school classroom, you have one main teacher that takes you most of the day, nearly every day. In Year 7, it's a little bit different. You're moving around to a timetable. You're going to lots of different classrooms with lots of different teachers doing lots of different things. And in that, you'll need to become more independent as a student in Year 7. So that means being able to organise all of your equipment, know when homework's due, know when assignments are coming up, knowing what lesson is next and what you'll need for it. So all of those things become increasingly important. There's no more reminders in the same kind of way, but it's really good because all of this is teaching new independent skills for the years to come, both at school and beyond school. So getting a sense of independence is really important in Year 7, and I believe that we can allow our students to do that in a very safe and secure environment where we give a lot of support. We nurture our students really well so that they feel that they're supported every step along the way as they're building that independence to become an independent learner through senior school and beyond. One of the biggest challenges is being able to go into different classrooms and remember the expectations and all of the routines of the different classrooms and what's needed. And we do that through a number of different ways in terms of teaching our students how to do that well. You'll hear a little bit more soon about our WAM days, which are welcome and mentoring days for our students at the start of Year 7. It's really important, not just for our current Year 5 and 6 students at St Philip's, but particularly for the students coming from the other schools in the area or beyond, to learn exactly what St Philip's is all about and how they can make the most of their time at St Philip's. Getting into learning is one of the things that I get most excited about at our school. The whole point of middle school is to be able to get students excited about learning and to maintain that excitement throughout so that they feel like they are in a really good position to do their best learning right up into the HSC years. So we have a lot of excellent learning spaces. We have teachers who know the middle school and young adolescents quite well and what it takes to be able to engage students at this age. We have things like interest electives. Now I know that Jessie and Clea spoke about those in the video that you've just heard, but the interest electives are one of those things that the students really look forward to, and quite often at secondary schools students don't get to do that from the start of Year 7. They'll get to choose what they would like to do out of a range of 8 to 10 activities, and they're in passion areas of our staff and areas of expertise as well. So whether it's sports academy like we heard, or a chapel band if they wish to play on stage as part of our chapel. It could be Lego robotics and engineering that they're into and can do visual arts, and that includes right through ceramics, pottery, printing, ink, all of those sorts of things as well. We heard about Story Hub, there's illustration, and there's even a pop culture studies interest elective running at the moment. We've also run mountain biking and a lot of other sporting ones over the years. And so next year we'll present all of those to the students in Year 7 and they'll get to choose which one they would like to do. And it's always a lot of fun. You'll see some pictures on the slide that I've included of some of the kind of activities they do in interest electives. Join in. Not only do we have things like interest electives, but we have a lot of extracurricular activities that your child and the students out there will really love to do. So I'm hoping that you'll choose to do things just outside of the regular classroom. In fact, we know that the more involved that our students get in the school curriculum, in all of the different activities, whether it be clubs that they join or groups or teams, the better they'll do at school. And the more engaged they'll be and the happier that they'll be at school too. So we offer a whole range of extracurricular activities built for engagement, built for extra assistance and help and hopefully keeping our students loving school. So we've got things like a homework hub, we've got subject tutoring after school as well. We've got coding and robotics, board game club. There's a Crusaders group that is a group that celebrates our Christian faith together. Chess teams, sporting teams. It's just up to your child, or if that's a student out there listening, you, to put up your hand and say, I want to be part of that. That sounds really interesting. I want to learn a new skill. I'd love to represent the school, whatever that might be. And again, if you join those teams and get involved, chances are you'll do better at school, and that's what we really hope for you, and that's our heart here at St Philip's. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over now to the head of Year 7, who is Mark Costa, and he's going to be going through a range of other points about what it's like in Year 7 and how it's planned out for you and what that will look like for you next year. Thanks, Mark.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us in the webinar. It's a wonderful, privilege to be a Year 7 teacher at this school. It's a wonderful school, and I have 5 points that I'd like to talk to you about this wonderful school. And I think what really makes the difference from this place. The first thing is we have a very structured, settled environment. I remember when I first came to the school about 5 years ago for my interview, I walked around the classrooms and I really felt that the students were very settled and it was a very productive place of learning. And I was very excited by that. And so that's one of the reasons I chose to stay here, and I'm committed to staying for long term in this place. It's a wonderful, productive place. The second point is welcoming and nurturing. We do have a wonderful, place of welcoming and nurturing for each and every student that comes to the school. Every year we have between 20 and 25 new students, maybe more, coming to join us. And for the first 2 days, we actually run a program called Welcoming and Mentoring, which is not the traditional classroom days. Basically what we do in those 2 days is we have lots of team building exercises where students get to go on scavenger hunts and getting to know you games. It's just a wonderful place where the students are challenged, and the result is that they get to form new friendships very quickly. And so we found it's a wonderful way to start the year. Also, Year 7 camp, you've seen some photos already, and that is an incredibly fun time. It's a tiring time, but it's very fun. And here's another focus on relationships to really to build that team in Year 7 together again as an inclusive culture for the whole year group. Our nurturing continues throughout the year. Every Tuesday and Friday we have nurture class, and basically it's here where our wonderful nurture teachers or core teachers guide our students through programs of devotions and topics of discussion to really help them feel safe and heard as well. Mr. Urain's talked a little bit about organisation. It's a very challenging time for some students, and it's a very challenging time for all students in terms of the range of different subjects you have to go to. But our number one tool is our school diary, where students basically get to write down all the different homework and events coming up, and our nurture teachers will help them to find out what's the best time, what's the best place to do things in. We have a wonderful learning management system called iLearn, and here you'll be able to find out where your students, what work is due and when it's due as well. Homework is done a little bit differently in Year 7. We don't have homework necessarily due every day, but we give homework on a Monday and it's due the next Monday. So that helps with busy families to organise their week around when is the best time to do this particular part of homework, and we do realise that a lot of families have challenging out-of-school activity rosters. Our fourth point is well-being and confidence. Every Wednesday we have Wellbeing Wednesday, and it's here we run through a series of social and emotional tools. We have a very demanding world, and this really helps students to cope with the stresses of the world, and we cover topics like emotional challenges, friendship changes, and time management, these types of things as well, to help students feel they're cared for in this way. We help build confidence through setting goals each term and having them checked regularly through nurture teachers, and also we challenge students in terms of class participation and public speaking as well. The last thing we do is we have a lot of fun, and through Thursday Chapel, our fun activities there, also year meetings, we have 1 minute challenges. And our Fridays is usually Friday fun days in nurture time. So every classroom, we aim to have a very engaging culture in every class. And so that's just a little bit of a snapshot of what our Year 7 culture is like at St Philip's.
All right, Kaden, thank you for joining me for 60 Seconds with Mr. U. Just have a few questions for you, starting with what's been the best part of Year 7 so far?
Probably all the different variety of classes and friends.
So it's a little bit different to your primary school years?
Yeah, you normally just have one teacher. Having more is like better.
The privileges that you get, like you're a lot more free to do stuff.
Okay, a bit more independence?
Yeah.
The best thing's probably the teachers and my friends, and probably lunch and recess.
I've probably been having fun with friends, and obviously we had a lot of new people come into our year, so meeting new people.
Great. And what's been the most memorable moment so far this year?
Oh, it would have to be camp and like all the rain and flooding of tents, and it was just crazy.
Year 7 camp.
Yeah, tell me about that. What do you like about it?
I liked meeting all the new people. That was really fun. Teachers and like the nice teachers and just like chilling and lunch and recess.
And what's been your most memorable moments in Year 7?
Camp mostly. Like when it flooded, that was pretty cool. And then when we were packing up, there was
The goannas?
all over the stuff.
Snakes and goannas, yeah, right. What's been your most memorable moment of the year so far?
Definitely Year 7 camp.
Probably Year 7 camp.
It would definitely have to be camp.
Tell me about that.
We expected like sunshine and started pouring.
And what happened?
We just got soaked out of our tent. We had to go sleep in the ranger's house.
That was pretty fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was warm.
What's the weirdest thing that has happened?
Probably remote learning and like spending school at home.
Yeah, and how'd you cope with that?
Pretty well, I think. I don't know.
Okay, what was the hardest thing?
Resisting all the food in the cupboard.
Probably online learning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Remote learning?
Yeah.
And how did you find it?
It wasn't that bad, it was pretty easy.
What's your favourite subject?
Well, probably PE.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's fun.
Maths, I just enjoy maths.
Great. I used to be your maths teacher. Is that part of the reason why? Yeah, okay, we'll take that.
Maths and science.
Yeah, is maths because I used to be your maths teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, good.
Definitely maths.
Yeah? Why's that?
I just love maths and all the puzzles.
Yeah, great to hear. Now, what's the worst part about Year 7?
All the assignments.
Yeah?
Homework.
A bit of a step up from Year 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's your favourite subject in Year 7?
Maths and geography.
Right, great. Good to hear. And the worst part about Year 7?
There's not really a worst part, it's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
That's a good answer.
All the assignments.
What's the worst part about Year 7?
The expectancy for you to be more mature.
And have you stepped up to the plate, Joel? Are you more mature? I mean, yes, you are, Joel. What science experiments have you enjoyed?
I think probably our first Bunsen burner experiment, that was pretty exciting because we got to light things on fire and stuff.
I've enjoyed using Bunsen burners and stuff, and we made toffee once.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it'd have to be Bunsen burners, my favourite probably.
Why is that?
Fire. Using the Bunsen burners, they were fun.
Yep. What do you like about using Bunsen burners?
The fire.
Yeah, got a few pyromaniacs, I think, in our Year 7 group. What's your best technology or TAS creation this year?
We made a phone stand from woodwork.
A phone stand, okay, awesome. Sounds good.
We're making like little key rings in woodwork, so yeah, that's really fun.
Woodwork.
Yeah?
Yeah, woodwork was really fun. It was good because it was hands-on.
Okay, great. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how scared are you of getting sent to my office?
Definitely a 9.5.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometimes a 9 or a 10.
Probably a 9.
Really? So there's a bit of fear there.
9.
Oh, it'd have to be about 7 or 8 probably.
7 or 8, maybe 9.
For someone between 4 and 6.
Okay, not much fear there. You feel pretty comfortable. Okay.
1.
No fear whatsoever. Thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U, Destiny. Jazzy, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Frankie, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Lucas, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Jasper, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Ash, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U. Kanan, thank you for spending 60 seconds with Mr. U.
Thanks.
Welcome back. It is now time for question time. So if you would, if you're at home and watching and you'd like to put a question in for us to answer, just pop it in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and we'll get back to you. Do we have any live questions? No,
We do have an audience here.
we do. They're being
No
shy.
questions though.
Yeah, thinking.
Well,
Oh, there's one question.
Did you say that the camp is early in the year, like first up?
Yes, the camp is in. The question to those watching at home was when's the camp? So the camp is actually week 6 in term 1. So it happens very early in the term and it's very deliberate. So it really helps to solidify those relationships and bond the year group together. So we find it's a great start of the year.
And it's also that sense of independence too, where the kids are bringing their own tents and equipment. They're being able to build those, cook their own food, clean up after themselves. Have a whole heap of survivor type challenges as well. So it really builds that independence and that confidence, I guess, to be able to step out of their comfort zone.
so and my next question is how much homework do we have in year 7?
Our homework is about 1 hour per night on average. So every subject will give about maybe 40 minutes a week. So over those sort of 7 or 8 subjects, then it adds up to about an hour a night. So, yep.
How many year 7 classes do we expect to have next year?
So at the moment, it'll be on 3 classes. Each class is generally up to 26 students, and we generally have around that 70 to 75 per year group, unless we get a lot more enrolments, and we have been to 4 classes before. So if that happened, obviously the class numbers come down. But yeah, generally we cap them at 26, generally three classes per year group.
Okay. There's been a lot of mention of assignments in year 7, what you've spoken about. How many are we talking about? How big are they? Are they expected to do them on their own? Or how much parent involvement is encouraged?
I guess most subjects will have probably 3 or 4 assessment tasks per year, so that's 1 a term. And a lot of those, particularly when we first start, we actually do a lot of time in class helping students through assessment tasks. So it sounds scary, but it's not, because we do use class time to do those as well. We help students through those as well. So and we really want to have good quality assignments, and we sort of make sure we do a lot of work on them. So
I've noticed as well that the staff have become very good at structuring the assignments in the way that the questions are asked, in the way that they're actually put into sections so that each part can be completed sort of independently before moving to the next, rather than just having one major question and a whole open-ended element that would be quite challenging at that age. And also in terms of getting assistance from parents, look, we don't expect that the training wheels come straight off and that we throw them into the deep end. It's much more important that, particularly in those early days, that you're able to, wherever possible, sit down with your child and be able to go through the assignment, break it down, give sentence starters, give thoughts and ideas, but ultimately what gets put onto paper or onto the MacBook or whatever it might be that the assignment's being done on, that will actually come mostly from the child, but certainly structurally and supported by you, and as time goes on you'll find that as they get used to how to perform an assignment, how to go from the start through the process right to the finished product, they'll be more confident being able to do it independently, and ultimately by the into year 8 and by the end of year 8 certainly we know that our students are very much able to be able to complete an assignment by themselves, and that will also just change a little bit from student to student, and learning support and learning difficulties and all of those sorts of things would come into it for some students, and for them the scaffolds would need to be in place for longer. And we have a wonderful learning support team as well who are very, very good at being able to adjust and differentiate our assignments, so that if your child was in that position where they couldn't perform it independently without a lot of assistance, then I'd expect that would be adjusted to your child's ability so that they can make their way through it at their level. We always want there to be a bit of challenge though. We don't want it to be easy, and we just want them to be able to work to their ability plus be challenged a little bit on top of that.
Do we have a bring your own device program? Or, well, you can tell me.
We don't. No, we don't have bring your own device. About 10 years ago, the whole St Philip's organisation decided to have MacBooks and MacBook Airs put throughout all campuses from year 5 to year 12. So that would mean that all of our students will have that. It's on a lease agreement through the school and through the Apple provider and through the family. So there's a technology levy that comes with that. You get all of the assistance through our ICT department here that you need. All of the software that your child needs comes on it, and there's an enormous amount of that. We also obviously use it not only in all subjects but also at home, and access points at home. We've got web pages that can be easily accessed by the Apple Macs. During remote learning last year, it really was a godsend for us because we knew that we could set a task and all of our students had access to that as long as they had Wi-Fi at home, and we could actually really frame our expectations around what we knew students would be able to do at home. It's not bring your own device, and everyone has an Apple MacBook, and they're small. They've become lighter over the years, and they're very, very robust, and we've found them to be a wonderful learning tool. We do all the typical things on them like presentations and Word docs and all of that. We also do things like 3D printing, robotics, coding, web page design, SketchUp architecture, movie making. So by the end of your child's time at St Philip's and having a MacBook, I'd expect that their skill level is really high. And within about 2 weeks, they know more than I do, if your child's new to it. Yeah.
Our next question is about sport. Do we have compulsory weekend sport like some of the big schools in Sydney?
No, we don't. Our sport is done on a Thursday. It's for 100 minutes per week. We also have PE lessons on top of that, of course, and if your child was in the sports academy or one of the sports electives, then they might get extra sport as well. So for our sports, each of our students are placed with their year group, and whether it be boys or girls, we'll tend to split them as well, and they'll compete against each other, and depending on what sport it is, and each sport generally goes for 5 weeks. So the typical sports here at school are soccer, basketball, touch football, softball, etc. We also use the Tomaree fields across the road for some of those kinds of sports, but then we'll go off site for a number of others like tennis at Nelson Bay, Anna Bay Golf, 1 Mile Beach Fitness, sailing, 10-pin bowling, indoor rock climbing. Mr Costa also does sport in senior school, so when they get to year 9 they can even go surfing, and that's one of his favourite pastimes. So we actually have a lot on offer, and if your child really loves the sport that they're on, well, they've only got 5 weeks of it. But if they don't particularly like that sport, it's only 5 weeks.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit about the excursions that you go on in year 7?
So there's obviously year 7 camp that happens, and the first term there's art excursion, there's a geography excursion, there'll be a history one starting up, there's a reward day, and there's beach day at the end of the year. So we are working on increasing the amount of excursions we have, but those are the ones at the moment.
That's quite a few.
Yeah. And coming back from COVID as well, it's good that all of those sort of restrictions are opening up for us as well. As they go into year 8 particularly, we're looking forward to being able to do again camps in year 8. We did Slum Survivor again because we missed it last year with our year 8s this year. So there's lots of opportunities from year 7 and year 8. Lots of day excursions, and hopefully your child really enjoys them. And we're hoping as well, it may not happen for year 8 when your child gets there, but we're hoping that our Vanuatu mission trip will start up again, because we do still raise money for it. Slum Survivor in year 8 this year was raising money for our friends in Vanuatu who we support with Liberty People, and hopefully by the time your children are reaching year 8 there'll be an opportunity for them to go and visit that community over in Vanuatu, which we did for many years before COVID struck, but if not it'll come up again in year 10 in the future as well. So there are lots of great opportunities with regard to excursions available.
So that was my last question online. Have we got any more from our audience?
Studio
now?
audience.
Come on guys, thinking.
All right, well then I might wrap up. So where to from here? So we've recorded the webinar tonight, so I will send that out to you guys as a link in the next day or so. If you've submitted an application form, I will be in touch very soon to book in an interview with Mr. Urain. If you haven't enrolled yet, can I encourage you to put your application in soon, because we do have quite limited spaces for year 7 for next year, and you'll find the application form on our website. If you are a current family, you don't need to do anything. We'll have orientation day in term 4. So that's a day when our current students and our new students will come together. We do some assessments for our new students, but we also have some fun together. They have a good look around the school.
Have lunch together.
Yeah, so it's
fun.
a really good intro for our new students as well. So that will happen, and I'll let you know about that closer to the date. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you found it helpful, and we look forward to having your children with us in year 7 in 2022. Good night.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night guys.